Well, once the water subsides, the enormous task of rebuilding affected areas will begin. The damage bill is estimated to run into the billions of dollars. Ed Blakely was the Director of Recovery in charge of the clean-up of New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. He is now a professor at the US Studies Centre at Sydney University. Professor Blakely joins us now. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Now, we're talking about food shortages, sewage contamination, power outages. They are obviously the first things that need to be addressed.
Well, power has to be addressed first, because you can't have food without power, you can't have petrol without power, you can't have the means of life without power, and if it's dark, it's not safe. So power is the first thing that has to be addressed.
So how big is this job ahead?
Well, this job's going to take a couple of years. I think people think it's going to be a day or two, but it's going to take a couple of years to get everything back right in the right places and doing it the right way, so the next time this happens, we're better prepared.
Yeah, look, you oversaw Katrina's mop-up, the costliest hurricane in US history, $75 billion. What sort of money are we talking here to rebuild all these towns and cities? 22 towns and cities currently inundated in Queensland.
Well, the area is the size of the state of New South Wales, so it's going to be an enormous job. And it can't be done in pieces. You have to think about this strategically. You have to do some places earlier, particularly the trade routes and so forth, so they're done early on. You have to have a coordinated strategy. You have to have someone organize that coordinated strategy. But we're talking about a couple of years.
And how many billions of dollars?
Well, at least 2 or 3. And that's just to clean up the surface. There's a lot of cleanup that people are going to have to do on their own yards, their own houses. Some of that will be covered by insurance, but a lot of it won't. And then there's the issue of whether those houses are in the right place, with global climate change and so forth. Is there a chance for us to see where the house should be located, where dams and things should be located, where power structures should be located, maybe decentralization of power so there aren't outages in the future?
What did you learn from helping clean up Katrina that you think we can't make the same mistake here?
Well, a couple of things. One of them is really face the future. We were in such a hurry to clean up after Katrina, we didn't face the fact that certain areas had to be changed and transformed so that they weren't a danger in the future. Clearly, after a situation like this, you might have fires because the underbrush grows, etc. You have to think about how you're going to protect people in the future. So it's very important to have a coordinated attempt to move people to high ground, to put safety barriers in, to have water relief systems in. These are things we did not do in Katrina and still need to be done.
Okay. We always talk about the outbreak of disease, the potential outbreak for disease in this very humid climate right across Queensland. What's the danger there?
Well, dengue fever, all kinds of other diseases. You're going to have a lot of mosquitoes. You're going to have a lot of snakes and things like this. But the biggest danger, I think, is people staying in the water too long, then developing pneumonia and other things, and you can go downhill very fast from that. There isn't a lot of danger from other forms of disease as long as fresh water is available.
Okay. Well, Professor Ed Blakely, we thank you very much for joining us and trying to help us understand what's happening up there today.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.